my name is Tori, this is Novel Life, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my fantasy romance TBR. So I have been in a very huge fantasy romance mood, and I just have a bunch of books on my shelves that I want to read. I have some books that I downloaded on Kindle Unlimited, and some books that are upcoming that I definitely want to read basically as soon as they come out. So I wanted to sit down and do a TBR video for you. So sit back, relax, and yeah, let's just go through all of the fantasy romances that I want to read because I'm very excited for them. So the first one is actually an arc I got at, oh my gosh, where was it? Steamy Lit. So it's A Fire in the Sky by Sophie Jordan. So I know Sophie Jordan as a historical romance author, and this is her new fantasy romance with Avon. It comes out in September, I don't know what day, but it's a brand new epic adult romantasy series. Dragons are extinct, witches are outcast, magic is dying, but human lust for power is immortal. So I think this is a first in a series. I'm pretty sure it ends on a cliffhanger, but I'm very, very, very excited for it. I love a shorter fantasy romance, so this will probably be featured in a weekly reading vlog in September. I like to read the books, like the arcs that I have closer to the release date, so very excited for this one. Another book that I'm very excited to read is actually a second book in a series, and that is A Storm of Secrets and Sorrow by Melissa K. Rorick. So I did post a weekly vlog already on Sunday where I read the first book in this series, Reign of Shadows and Endings, and it was interesting. It was interesting. It was long, but the ending got me, which usually happens with fantasy romances. The endings will usually get me, and I heard that this book is even better than the first book, so I'm very excited. I gave the first book like 4 stars, so I'm very excited, and my Hoopla has the audiobook for this, so I always love when I can utilize my library. The book is in Kindle Unlimited as well, so you guys can read it in Kindle Unlimited, but my Hoopla has it, so I'm very excited for that. I don't know why the second book is on Hoopla, but the first book isn't, like the audiobook. Anyway, I listened to the audiobook and I loved the female narrator. The male narrator wasn't my favorite, but I got used to it. So, and this is a series I definitely want to catch up on because I think the third book comes out in October, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know how many books is in the series, but I'm very excited for that one just because I've heard really good things about it from friends. The next book I want to talk about is coming out in November, and that is The Songbird and the Heart of Stone by Carissa Broadbent. Why this woman has the most longest titles, I don't know. But I will also read anything that this woman publishes from now on. I read her Crowns of Nyaxia series, loved it. I loved the novella. I haven't read her Backlist series, the red covers, but I've heard really good things about this one. There's been like a few ARC readers out there that it's talked about it, so I'm very excited for this one. I don't know anything about it. I don't want to know anything about it. I'm just going to dive right in. Because I haven't read a Carissa Broadbent book in so long, I really just want to dive in because I love her writing. I love her world building. I love just how she writes fantasy romances. So whenever this book comes out, your girl is going to be one of the first ones to read it because I'm very excited. Another new release that I'm excited for is Throne of Secrets by Carrie Maniscalco. I did read, what is it called? Where is it on my shelf? Throne of the Fallen by Carrie Maniscalco, and I really liked the way that it was kind of a standalone, like each 7 Deadly Sins, they each get a book. So Envy was Throne of the Fallen, and I don't know whose this book is actually, Throne of Secrets. I think it was said at the end of the book. Was it Gluttony? I don't remember. It was kind of said and hinted at the end of Throne of Secrets, Throne of the Fallen, so I'm very excited to see what Throne of Secrets is, just because I like the adult fantasy that Carrie Maniscalco writes. The YA new adult stuff, not really for me. I don't want to read Kingdom of the Wicked. I DNF'd that book. But I have been liking this adult fantasy series that she's been doing, so I'm very excited to read that one. Another one that has been sitting on my shelf since a Polycon is The Wrath of the Serpent by Allison Aldred. So this is kind of a new to me book and author. Basically this is a special edition. She had these at a Polycon and she was like, hey, at the end she didn't want to ship them home. She was like, oh hey, if you want this special edition, it's only $15. Like I'm selling them for $15. So I thought they were pretty. They're signed, and I like this. So I don't know anything about this. I'm pretty sure this is on Kindle Unlimited if I'm not mistaken, but this is a book that I want to get through just because I want to get through some of my physical fantasy romances. Like even if I get it on Kindle, like if I have the physical book, I want to read it basically. So I pulled this off my shelf because it's one. This does have a map and some NSFW artwork I'm very excited for. and a really cool bookmark that came with it. I do follow her on Instagram now when I met her because she seemed really cool. So yeah, this is just one. It says, do not underestimate a woman whose soul craves power. It will become your demise, Prince. I will mind my tongue when males such as yourself show me the same respect they were born into. That sounds very interesting. I love a strong female character, so yeah, this is just one I've had on my shelf that I want to get to. Another one that I've had on my shelf since last year, and I bought because of the sprayed edges, is To Kill a Shadow by Catherine Quinn. Sprayed edges always get me, and the dust jacket doesn't, underneath the dust jacket doesn't have anything, but I think this is more of a YA fantasy, if I'm not mistaken. He only knows his grim duty as the Hand of Death, so to lead the Knights of the Eternal Star into a land filled with nightmares and certain demise. It's only when he sees her, a young woman with wild amber eyes who's as fierce, defiant, and swift as the shadow beasts themselves, that he feels the warmth of life in his blood. So yeah, it's more of a young adult fantasy, but I'm very excited. I want to listen to the audiobook of this one. I put a hold on my library, but yeah, this one I picked up at Barnes & Noble last year because the sprayed edges got me. They always get me, but this is one that I'm excited for. I haven't really heard too much about it, so if you've read it, let me know. I'm very interested. Another one that I want to read that has been sitting on my TBR for most of this year is Kingdom of Claw by Demi Winters. So this is book 2 in the Ashen series. I did read book 1 and I liked it. It is a very found family romantasy book where our female character, she's like uncovering secrets and she's trying to figure out things, and she kind of like goes on the Road of Bones, which is the first book. It's like a travel thing. She travels together with this group of like mercenaries, and they all have different things, and it's very... The ending of that book really shocked me because I literally was not expecting that in the freaking slightest because of one character and the way that he acts. I was like, there's no way. So yes, I'm very excited. I was waiting for the audiobook to come out, and I think it's out now, so I'll definitely like use a credit, or I'll see if my library has this, but I definitely want to read this one. It's thick, but I loved Demi Winters' writing when I read it, so. And I did listen to the audiobook and physically read along to the first book, so I want to do that for the second book. Another one that I just recently picked up is more of like a cozy fantasy, okay? And I picked this up at Steamy Lit. The Spell Shop by Sarah Beth Durst. Once again, the sprayed edges and the kitty with wings. Do you see the kitty with wings right here? That got me, okay? I don't know anything about this book. It's a lush cottagecore tale full of stolen spell books, unexpected friendships, sweet jams, and even sweeter love. Okay, so I love that. The sprayed edges, I love popping them like that. I have never read a cottagecore before. I've never read a like cozy fantasy before. At least I don't think so. And this is relatively on the shorter side, so I did place an audio hold for this because I want to maybe listen to it and then physically read along. I feel like it's going to be very atmospheric. So this is like my perfect when fall hits, like when it's cool outside, like really cool, and I can snuggle up with a blanket and not feel like I'm going to die from a heat stroke. Then I'm going to read this book. That's what I'm very excited for. That's this one. So this will be in a reading vlog coming soon as well. Now I do have a couple of books in Kindle Unlimited that I have downloaded that I'm very excited for. Fate and Furies by Helen Schwar and Shadows and Storms by Helen Schwar. So this is book 3 and 4 in the Legends of Thesmar series. And I have recently read the first 2 books in this series, and it was a good like place to stop. It was like, okay, I feel good, I can stop here. Like, I mean, there's a lot of things that were uncovered that I'm still like, I have questions about, but I actually did not mind where it stopped. So it was a good pause for the middle of the series. But I heard that the 3rd and 4th book gets better and better. I am very intrigued with these characters. I think there's a time jump in one of these books, but I do have them on Kindle Unlimited. I love Kindle Unlimited fantasy romances, so those are 2 that are definitely high on my priority list for the end of the year. And another one that my friend Jess at Honest Fiction actually just read is House of Bane and Blood by Alexis L. Menard. Don't know anything about this. Don't know anything about this book. She was just talking about it and she said it was really great and she had a good time reading it, and that is really all I need to add something to my fantasy romance TBR, if that makes sense. I go to a lot of my friends who read a lot of fantasy romances to kind of like narrow down which ones I should read because I don't have that much time to read anymore. So I really love when they're like, yes, read this, or like, you could pass on this. So I'm a content creator, right? And I give you guys recs, but I get some of my recs from my friends as well. That's usually how it goes for stuff. The last book that I want to talk about is actually like a couple books by this author. I'm very behind on this author's stuff, okay? I'm very behind on this author's stuff, and that is JLA, okay? So this is A Fire in the Flesh by Jennifer Armentrout. This is the third book in the Flesh and Fire series, which is the spin-off series of the From Blood and Ash series. Now, the second book, Born of Blood and Ash, the gold cover right here, it literally just came out this past week, so I have to read this before I read that. I do like these characters. I do enjoy these characters, but I feel like there's a lot of things that overlap with the two series, so I want to get to them, but I'm not like dying to pick them up. Now, I do have to read, oh my gosh, I have it up there, Visions of Flesh and Blood, which is kind of like a Diary of Willa Collins type thing. That's in the From Blood and Ash series that I definitely want to read too. But I have like 3 books that I want to catch up on from JLA because I am a fan of these two series. I just like haven't really heard anything good or bad, so I haven't like been excited to pick them up, you know what I mean? So yeah, these are just a couple books by JLA that I really want to pick up. But that's all my fantasy romance TBR. You can let me know a book that you have on your fantasy romance TBR in the comments down below. Also let me know if you have a rec for me to add to my fantasy romance TBR, because like my fantasy romance TBR is literally like never ending, you know what I mean? So definitely let me know something in the comments down below. For the emoji, drop me a skull emoji in the comments down below, just because that's on the back of the Flesh and Fire book by JLA. A skull emoji in the comments down below if you've made it this far and you want to let me know. But thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe for more content for me. As always, I hope you're living a novel life, and I will see you in my next one. Bye, guys!